Hi guys, I'm Vikas. I'm a PT trainer at Bangalore, India. Today I'm going to give you some tips, techniques, and methods that you could use to get full marks for the repeat sentence question type of speaking. Remember, guys, repeat sentence is really important, and you have to score full marks on this section for you to get a 79 plus. Stay tuned in, make a note of all the tips and techniques that I give you, and I've also provided a couple of examples that you could use. Thank you.
All right, guys, let's get started. So today I'm going to explain to you the tips, techniques, and methods that you could use to get full marks with repeat sentence section. Remember, guys, repeat sentence is a very important section. It could make or break your 79 plus score. You also have to remember that repeat sentence contributes to speaking as well as listening. It carries a ton of marks. Remember and mark it with double, triple stars. You have to make sure that you get this section absolutely right. Before we get started, I'm going to explain to you about the scoring section. I'll give you a quick example and then move on to tips and techniques and switch back to examples again. Get ready, guys. Now, the scoring is basically done on three criterias, which is content, oral fluency, and pronunciation. Content being one of the most important scoring sections. You have to make sure that you've gotten all the words correct and exactly as how the speaker speaks it, right? And oral fluency, make sure that you have some intonations, make sure you're speaking at the right rate of speech. And pronunciation, make sure you're pronouncing every word, every sentence correctly. Now I'll give you a quick example. Let's switch to the example. Ignore the text that is given above. That is actually your answer. So your question is pretty simple, right? You'll be given roughly about 5 seconds for you to prepare. Put your headphones on all the time. Make sure that you have your headphones on all the time. Don't do silly mistakes of just putting it around your neck and missing out on critical questions at times. Okay, so the small sentence would be something like this, right? It would roughly be about a 3 to 5 second sentence. It's very rare that you get a really long or a really difficult sentence. So it's ideal that you start practicing a lot. Like I said earlier, guys, repeat sentences is extremely important. Make sure that you have done ample amount of practice on this and improve your working memory. Now that you understand how the question type or how the example is, let's move on to the tips and tricks. Remember, the first and one of the most important steps is that you remember the sequence. I know it's kind of obvious, right? It's also because you'll have to create a mental map when somebody is telling you, like, imagine I tell you that the lecture on Thursday covers the anatomy of human body. While I'm speaking the sentence, make sure that you're creating a mental map or an image of what I'm speaking about. So when you create a mental map, it becomes much easier for you to remember, right? When I say an anatomy of human body, it becomes much easier to remember it when you picturize it. The third step is, of course, I've also covered it in the read aloud section. Make sure that you use intonation. Speak it like you mean it, right? And they want to know that you're able to speak and converse with anybody fluently. That's the whole point, right? So the techniques include improving your working memory. So every human has a volatile memory of 5 seconds, and you could master it by plenty of practice, right? Initially when you practice, you might find a lot of difficulties remembering the sentences. But trust me, guys, repeat at least 100 sentences, and you'll be just absolutely just fine. right? A technical technique here is that you answer immediately or within 3 seconds. If you do not answer within 3 seconds, the window closes, or you cannot record anymore. Basically, the question is void. So make sure that you answer within 3 seconds. This is the golden rule. Okay. Like I said, plenty of students of mine, they kind of use this method of closing their eyes and remembering it. It works for a lot of folks, so you could try it as well. So when somebody when you're practicing, just make sure you close your eyes and try to create a mental map that gives you a good understanding of what the sentence is, and it's much easier to remember, right? Yes. The second most important method is that you speak slowly to avoid making mistakes. It is it's a very common mistake, when people tend to quickly try to blurt out what they have in their mind. No, when you are presented with a quick repeat sentence question, understand the question, rehearse it in your mind, and then speak slowly into the mic so you avoid making mistakes. These are the two golden rules, guys. Close your eyes, create a mental map, and then speak slowly to avoid making mistakes. All right? Now let's go to another sentence. Now, you could feel free to pause the video at any time, make a quick note of tips and techniques. You have plenty of videos on YouTube where you could practice plenty of repeat sentences. Make sure you're making full use of it. I, Guys, you absolutely need a lot of practice. This is very critical. I know I've told it ample number of times, but you have to remember that this could make or break your PTE scores. So let's move on to the next one. This is a slightly difficult one. It's not always that you receive repeat sentence questions like this, but just to beat the odds, we have this one as well. All right. So what I want you to do now is I want you to go back, uh, play the video once again, understand the question, and try to repeat it. You could also improve your working memory by this. So have a look at the tips and techniques, guys. Remember, close your eyes, create a mental map or picturize the sentence that is being spoken, and speak slowly into the mic so you avoid making mistakes. These are the golden rules. I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions or queries regarding repeat sentences, please feel free to drop a comment below. I will go ahead and answer it when I have the time. Thank you for your time today, guys. Thank you.